Welcome, a good evening or morning or night or whenever you might watch. We have exciting news for you today. September will be an awesome month. Awesome month for VR. We have so much to talk about. So buckle up for I can't do it. Sorry about that. It's bad. It really is. No use in sugarcoating it. Another very slow month. Is VR well and truly dead? Well, I am not giving up hope quite yet. And it's not all doom and gloom. September is an incredible month for flat games, so just go and play some Starfield or Lives of P or Mortal Kombat 1 or Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, and come back to VR later. So see you next month. I'm just kidding. We're still doing the show. It's not like there are no new games coming, and on the bright side, I won't take up that much of your precious time today. So let's get to the games of last month. One quick delay announcement: the submarine simulator U-Boat The Silent Wolf that was initially announced for early August was delayed without a new release date. The third installment of Shell Games' Trial and Die spy-themed puzzle games dropped on August 17th only for the Quest 2 for now. General Games media were absolutely blown away by this one, at least the two that gave it a try. VR critics were a bit more cautious in their enthusiasm. 6 Degrees of Freedom gave it a wonderball 7 out of 10. Quote, "I Expect You to Die 3 is a lovely Swiss laser watch of a game that absolutely will not disappoint. We recommend it from the soles of our knife-concealing padded leather shoes to the razor brims of our bowler hats. Another knock it out of the park hit for Shell, which deserves to be top of the charts." End quote. The only prevalent criticism I've seen that it's pretty much more of the same, which can also be a good thing, right? So if you have played the previous titles, expect more of that. Expect to die. A Steam release is scheduled for September 28th. So, Firewall Ultra dropped on August 24th only for the PSVR 2. As I write this section, that is 5 days after release, not a single review is out for this game. That's surprising, as critics usually are all over PSVR 2 games like flies on... never mind. Apparently the studio or publisher or whoever is responsible did not give out any review codes for the game. That's usually a bad sign. The only reason to do that is they know the reviews will be bad, so they'd rather have no reviews on launch than negative ones. So is Firewall Ultra bad? Not necessarily. The word is that Firewall Ultra is a decent video game but a lackluster VR game. It feels more like a flat game that you happen to play in VR. I've seen people compare it to a low effort VR mod. The game basically does not use motion controls outside of aiming your gun. Everything else happens on a button press, reloading, opening doors, chucking grenades, even shivving someone with your knife on a button press. If you're okay with that, there's fun to be had with Firewall Ultra. If you are used to VR shooters like, let's say, Pavlov, that is way more physical, you will probably be very disappointed. Oh, and progression is apparently terrible as well. You can buy new weapons, equipments and contractors with XP, but you'll have to grind for hours and hours just to buy a single gun or contractor. If you don't want to do that, well, there's always a cash shop. Crossfire Sierra Squad, the second big shooter hope of the month. Very similar picture. Also no critics reviews on release or a day after even. Not sure what's going on. But this one is on Steam, so let's see how it did over there. Well, not ideal, I would say. There were some problems with index controllers on launch that explain some of the negative reviews. Smilegate have already pushed a patch to fix those, so that's good. Before launch would have been better. The majority of negative feedback is about gameplay though. Smilegate have always emphasized that this is an arcade shooter. But what does that mean exactly? They did not do the best job in setting expectations. Smilegate took the term arcade very literal and delivered a shooter that is heavily inspired by light gun shooters you would play in arcades. The game is often compared to Time Crisis. It is basically on rails. You can walk around a bit, but if you stray from the path that is shown to the player by a big yellow line on the floor, you will very quickly run into invisible walls. Invisible walls, the arch nemesis of immersion. So again, depending on your expectations, there is fun and quite a bit of content to be had here. If you're hoping for something like a COD in VR, then better stay clear. We are starting the September announcements with a small platformer called TOS. Not much to say here what the trailer does not already show, except maybe that you play as a space monkey whose ship has crash landed on a cloud planet. How does one crash land on a cloud planet, you may ask? I don't know, that's beside the point. Point is, you need to parkour through over 75 levels in 9 different cloud biomes to collect parts for your ship. You can master each level with time trials and other challenges, you can compare your prowess with other players on the leaderboards, and you can unlock modifiers to customize your tossing experience. For me personally, it looks way too colorful and cozy, but these very physical platforming games can be fun for a while. TOS is coming to Steam, the Quest 2, the PSVR 2 and to Viveport on September 9th. No price is announced so far. Gazzlers is an on-rails, literally standing wave shooter with a roguelike progression system. The way to the temple of the machine god that leads you through hostile lands, full of adorable little creatures called Gazzlers that try to kill you, so you kill them back. That's it, that's the game. You have a gun to shoot and a shield to block. During your run you get randomized upgrades to your weapons that you can combine in a multitude of ways. When you eventually get blown up, you can purchase persistent skill upgrades and embark on another run. It's a simple premise, maybe a bit too simple I would say. It would be great if you could walk around on the train and maybe needed to maintain and upgrade and expand it and work the switches to choose your path, maybe a bit more like Void Train. I see untapped potential here. Gazzlers arrives on Steam, the PSVR 2, the Quest 2 and on Pico devices on September 14th. Also no price announced yet.
Holy moly! Those Gazzlers don't stand a chance.
A Hellsweeper's charge to cull demonic overspill, Hell's burden. Accept the Hellsweeper's blessing. May the lands in twain peel open before you. A demon destroyed.
And another roguelite. Hellsweeper is a new offering by Remixed Realms, the developer of the well-received and very fast-paced VR action game Sirento. In Hellsweeper you delve down into hell to fight your way through the infernal hordes, be it with the mighty claymore, elemental magic or an antique rifle. The game sends you through a series of smallish combat arenas, enemies and objectives are randomized. After completing an arena you get your pick of random upgrades, and when you die you get to unlock some meta progression perks and try again. Sound familiar? What distinguishes Hellsweepers are for one the movement options, which are straight off plucked from Sirento. You can double jump, wall run, slide and even do a backflips if you really want to. And you can play this in co-op, that's pretty good. I've played 2 different demo builds of this game, the last one was during the Steam Next Fest in June. The demo did not do the best job in showing how the progression will work, and that's vitally important for a game like this. It needs something to keep you hooked, to keep you coming back, or replaying the same thing over and over again will get boring pretty quick, so that is something to keep an eye out for on release. Hellsweeper lands on Steam, the PSVR 2 and the Quest 2 on September 21st for $30/euros. Islanders is a beloved small cozy city builder from 2019, and soon there will be a VR version. You'll start out with a small island and get points awarded for each building you place. Buildings will interact with each other in the environment, so each settlement turns into a puzzle on how to place your buildings to maximize your score. At certain point thresholds you will be awarded access to new buildings or even new islands. When you can't increase the score to hit the next milestone, the game ends and you'll have to start from scratch, hopefully with the experience gained to get further next time around. This is going to be a very straightforward VR port, the only thing to mention really is that the Quest version will support hand tracking. Islanders VR is announced for Quest 2 release on September 29th. There's a Steam page for the VR version, but no release date for that was announced so far. Also no price, the flat game is around $5, so I hope the VR version will be at a similar price range. Ports. Budget Cuts Ultimate is a combination of the PCVR, robot, stealth, something games Budget Cuts 1 and 2 that got a quest in a PSVR 2 release in June. On September 7th it's coming back to Steam. If you own Budget Cuts 1 and 2 there's no need to purchase this. If you don't own them yet, this could be a good one to pick up. The games are a bit older by now but pretty well received. There will be a discount if you already own one of them, but no details on that are known so far. RuinsMagus is an anime-style dungeon crawler RPG that released about a year ago on Steam and the Quest 2. The game is not without its flaws, but is generally a good time. On September 19th it arrives on the PSVR 2. This version will include the Warrior and the Tailor DLC. On the same day, the PvP sword dueling game Broken Edge arrives on the PSVR 2. This one is very beloved. It's a budget title but gets new content like new arenas and fighters on a regular basis. The Steam version sits on a 92% positive on recent reviews. Before we wrap it up, a small bonus mention here for you. The prog metal band Tesseract made their own VR game. It's called War of Being. It's an exploration adventure game that lets you unlock music from the upcoming album War of Being by solving puzzles and finding secrets. The game released into early access on Steam last month and yeah, people like it. It sits at a 91% positive right now. So that's it for this month, short and sweet, and now go play some Armored Core or something. Next on this channel we will continue our 7 Days to Die journey. It has been too long already. See you soon.